Hey, what's happening, YouTubers? We're back with a brand new unboxing video. Tonight's unboxing is the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Superman from the DC Rebirth storyline. Now, this just came out in the last few days. Picked this up at my local Target yesterday, but yeah, without further ado, let's get started with the unboxing. And like we always do, let's get started with the package art first. It's your standard McFarlane Toys box art. So on the side of the packaging is the DC Multiverse logo, and then on the side it says Superman and DC Rebirth underneath. And on the back of the packaging is the full artwork of Superman, as well as other figures from the DC Multiverse line. This is just a small thing to note. When we were trying to get the figure off the peg yesterday, I noticed the top kind of changed. It's no longer like this type of design. It's got the full hook over it. All right, enough about the box art. Let's go ahead and get Superman out of the packaging. All right, and here's Superman out of the packaging. Let's get started with his accessory first. So it only really comes with one accessory, I guess two, including the card. It's the flight stand that they usually put with some of their figures. And to be honest, I prefer this over the regular DC base plate because this one you can easily pop off if you didn't want to use a flight stand and still put the figure on there. And then, of course, comes with the trading card that come with all DC Multiverse figures. And then, of course, a little read-up on Superman. Feel free to pause it if you want to go ahead and read it. All right, now let's take a look at the figure itself. And I'm not going to spend too much time with this review, mainly because this figure is essentially a kit bash of other Superman figures previously released by McFarlane Toys. And for those of you who aren't familiar what kit bash is, it's essentially taking pieces from another figure and creating it in one figure, an existing one, like a different head sculpt on there or in different hands. But basically, this is using the same body mold that was on the Infected Superman. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the Infected Superman figure anymore. I actually sold that a couple months back, but I do have the Bizarro figure, which is essentially using the same body mold as that same Infected Superman figure I was talking about. And actually, if you look at it, everything is exactly the same, except for the paint color scheme is a lot brighter on here, obviously because it's a Rebirth Superman, but also it's using the same fisted hands. So for the first time ever with a regular Superman figure in McFarlane Toys, we're finally getting two fisted hands. And the reason why that's such a big deal is because the first one to release came with like a open hand, and then the repackaged one with the Devastator had the same thing. But fans wanted fisted hands, and McFarlane Toys listened to the feedback and gave us it. Alright, so I have both figures here. To the left is the Action Comics 1000 Superman, which was the first Superman figure that McFarlane Toys released with their Wave 1 figures, which by all accounts is aesthetically one of the best Superman figures I've ever owned. The only drawbacks were that there was no double jointed elbows, and that diaphragm cut right here hinders the articulation a little bit, but other than that, it's aesthetically one of the best Superman figures ever, in my opinion. And you can see this figure right here is reusing the same head sculpt, it's just redecoed, and then obviously it's using the same body mold as Bizarro / Infected Superman. And here's just a closer in look. I'm almost certain that it's a redeco, like it's the same head sculpt. I know for a fact the hair sculpt is the same, but I'm pretty sure the head sculpt is the same as well. It's just like I mentioned, redecoed, because you can see there's more details in his face than there was in the previous one. I'm almost certain it is. If I'm not, somebody in the comments below, correct me if I'm wrong. Now, when we take a look at the rest of the figure, I do like the cape sculpt way better than the Action Comics 1000 one, mainly because, as cool as this is, it got in the way with a lot of posing, so I do prefer the shorter cape or the more collapsed cape better than this one. And just one thing to compare, I did mention the previous Superman figure came with a open hand. Actually, I'm wrong, it came with a trigger hand, so it is cool to see McFarlane Toys listening to the feedback and giving us two fisted hands right there. I'm not going to go over articulation because it's essentially the same articulation that's found on the Infected Superman as well as Bizarro. So let's just going to jump right into size comparisons. And first size comparison, here is that DC Rebirth Superman next to the Action Comics 1000 Superman and Bizarro. And next size comparison, here he is standing next to a couple Justice League movie figures. We have the Target exclusive Superman and the Black Suit Superman. And next size comparison, here he is standing next to the Action Comics 1000 Blue Variant Batman and the Dark Knight's Metal Batman. And last size comparison, here he is standing next to McFarlane Toys Todd McFarlane figure. Some overall thoughts on the figure is I absolutely dig it. I think this, at its core, it's a kit bash, but a very well done kit bash. Mainly because McFarlane Toys listened to the feedback by putting Superman in probably one of their best Superman body molds they've ever made, which was the Infected Superman body mold, aka the Bizarro one as well. So overall, I think they did a fantastic job. I do like the cape sculpt on this one better than the Action Comics 1000 version. And yeah, it's overall just a much better figure, a much better Superman figure than the prior one based off the articulation. The first one with the Action Comics 1000 was a nice one aesthetically, but this one's way better for dynamic poses and toy photography and ACBA. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you all think. In my opinion, it's probably one of the better figures of the year. But sound off in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this figure and if you're going to be picking it up. And like always, if you like what you see, hit that like button. And if you haven't already yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching.